Well, welcome to another lore video. This one's a bit of a departure from the war stuff, although who knows, it could be connected in some way. The Halloween event for this year has kicked off with a message received by all pilots. Commander, a troublesome situation is developing in the independent Shamash system. The Garrett Orbital outpost sent a distress call recently claiming to be under siege. The supposed assailants aren't Xeno, but we don't know much else. Given the ongoing Thargoid conflict, few naval forces are available to investigate what is a relatively unimportant outpost. Pilot Federation assistance has been requested, so I suggest heading there if you can. One more thing. There appears to be a problem with the system comms network in Shamash. The distress call arrived distorted and cut off suddenly. You might need to pull information from a few beacons to uncover what is going on. Vincent Prowse, Pilots Federation. So I was going to do a piece on the Spire sites and what you can do there, and have a little look around one, and also AX reactivations. I was going to do a little on that because they've been changed by the appearance of the Banshee, and also to comment on how what I said in the last video about Matrix systems clearing Counter-Strike systems. Apparently that was maybe not meant to happen because it got corrected, and we're now establishing how the pattern is working as intended, assuming that it is now working as intended. And realistically, we want to wait until after the tick to see more of the pattern. What happens when you clear a Spire site? Does it lose its status as a control? Can that status be regained? Does the site itself disappear? This seems very unlikely, but if it remains, then what happens to it? So yeah, we'll wait a little bit longer before looking into that, because the connection between Matrix sites, war progress, and what might happen next is not completely clear, and we really need a tick, a maintenance schedule tick on Thursday to observe properly the effect of the work that we've done this week. Once again, we've cleared all the alerts, a few of the controls as well, and slowly but surely we are whittling down the Thargoid defences, the number of systems they control, and their potential for future invasion. As we continue to shrink their sphere of influence and hinder their ability to expand.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frame shift drive charging.
So we're making our way to Shamash to see what all the fuss is about.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
So I've got my little courier. Festooned appropriately for the occasion, with the Halloween bats and the neon skull string lights. And over the next week there's going to be discounts on Halloween related suits and items and cockpit stuff, and so keep an eye out for that. If you're looking for something to spend your arcs on, don't forget as well, not long after that we're going to have the Day of the Dead stuff out as well possibly, and then about a month or so before Christmas, Black Friday, getting the midnight black paint jobs for your ships that you haven't got yet. They may also re-release other ones as well that they have in the past. You never know. So we're jumping into Shamash. Let's hit the nav beacon first. Okay, well they've said to check out all of the comms beacons. and they're showing up. Under the nav beacon. Just take the opportunity to fill the tank. And this will be familiar to any of you who've either followed my videos or done any paper trails for yourself. It's your standard looking listening post. Looks like every other listening post you've ever seen. Discovered logs 1 and 2 of 10. Okay, so there's 10 logs. There are 3 beacons in space and 4, well, they're still in space, but they're around the Garrett Orbital outpost. Visit them all, collect all the logs. That's what I'm going to do now, and then we'll have a look at what they say. Beacon 2 is around this very pretty ringed world. So there's some quite nice scenery to look at on the way. So this is interesting because when I scanned the nav beacon they all came up, and now I've visited the second one and they're all gone again. This may be why Burr and others are advising, and probably is why they're advising you to FSS the system rather than rely on the system comms. And it does say in the original message there appears to be a problem with the system comms network, but this is a nice way of representing that. I had the third beacon and the 4 around Garrett Orbital, and now they're gone. Yeah, another interesting facet is that when I went into the FSS, it was as if I hadn't discovered any of the planets, and the nav beacon should have given me that information as well. So again, a nice little quirky way of showing that the comms aren't working as they should be. What has happened here? 2 more signals there. 6 and 10 at comms beacon 3. Yeah, interesting. The way that you lose track of the comms beacons, and then as you get nearer to the body they actually orbit or use the FSS, they appear again. Yeah, I think that's neat. And we're right next to Garrett Orbital here. Here we are at 5C. Here's Garrett Orbital. Pretty much next door. Spatially speaking. 2 light seconds away. Which is where we're going to find the rest of the logs. At Garrett Orbital itself, there's no permission to dock. Place is dead, there's no one here. No comms greet you when you come in. You can't request docking. So the only thing you can do is scan the 4 comms beacons that are nearby, or within 10 kilometers, and try and make sense of what happened here. So these orbital comms beacons, you don't just automatically get messages, you have to scan them with your data link scanner. And go to each in turn. So the first three, because they're just listening posts, all you have to do is approach them, you automatically get the message. With these comms beacons, you actively scan them with your data scanner, relatively quick and easy to do. They're all orbiting the outpost. A small fast ship like this is perfect for just zapping around and picking them up. We'll grab all four of them and then play them.
This is an emergency broadcast to all pilots entering Shamash. A distress call has been triggered at Garrett Orbital. Hostile pilots have been detected attacking civilian ships. Piracy has not been observed. No motive has been given. Extreme caution in this system is advised.
Okay, a lot of these logs are unintelligible, and so you have to kind of read them for yourself anyway. And all the very, very spooky sounds going on in the background, such as on this one. But you can't make out really any of the voices, not in any kind of real detail. So, Fleet Exercise Grey Swan, Command Room, transcript begins. Squadron 33, move into position. Squadron 34, move into position. Good. Squadron 35, move into position. Squadron 3, damn it, who has their comms open? Testing, 1, 2. Squadrons 30 to 40, sound off. Testing, 1, 2. That noise. McCandy, are you online? There's interference on the command channel. Clear the comms array. Can barely hear myself think. Repeat. Here we go. Confirmed. Squadron 38. Confirmed. Squadron 39. Think we're back. Okay, let's get on with it. McCandy, find out where that sound came from. Squadron 35. Confirm position. Good. Squadron 36. Move into position. And there it ends. So, yeah. Really not quite sure what's going on at this point, but a lot of these logs are just like this. Very, very spooky noises going on. And unfortunately not voice read, not all of them anyway. But we'll continue. Personal, Sec, D, transcript begins. They're killing everyone. I was fixing a console error on the express lift when I heard the first scream from the other side of the corridor. Turn round to see Captain Veles pounding a man's head in with a wrench. The rest of the command crew were right behind her. Some were fighting each other, others were charging at people on the desk. 2 security guards on duty tried to stop them, but it was too crazy. They were overwhelmed. All I could do was hit the call button. The lift took forever and I had to duck when someone fired at me. I think it was Lieutenant Quallis. The look on his face, it was like he wanted to tear me to pieces. I thought he was going to reach me by the time the express lift door opened. They shut just as he reached me. Heard him banging on the door as the lift started moving. I'm still shaking. If security can't contain it, I'll have to get on a ship. Fred owes me a favour. I'll call him. Again, transcript ends with nothing more than these very, very spooky noises going on. Strange machine light sounds, broken static. All very creepy. Really, really nice job on the part of the audio team. Personal. Cowliev transcript begins. It's just me and Alejandro now. There was so much chaos out there in the corridors. Something kept playing on the tannoy, some kind of recording. It was so distorted, hurt my ears. There are bodies strewn across the floor, so much blood. I grabbed Alejandro and took him with me. He had a black eye, somebody must have hit him quite hard. Unconscious but breathing. I took him to my quarters and locked the door. When I called for help, the noise from the tannoy was on the other end of the comms link. Suppose it's broken. Can't shut it off. There's noise outside. I want to see who it is, but I have to keep Alessandro away from them. They'll kill him if they find him. I know they will. Just like they killed the others. But I'm scared that Alejandro will wake up and try and escape. Head injuries can be bothersome. They make people confused. If he panics and runs into the corridor, they'll snatch him up. I have to keep him in here. I have to keep Alessandro safe. I don't want them to get him. It's important that he doesn't wake up.
Attention all ships. Garrett Orbital hangar access has been temporarily suspended. No ships are permitted to arrive or depart. There is a significant threat to life on this port. Multiple deadly assaults by Garrett Orbital inhabitants have been reported. The external comms array has been disabled for security reasons. Do not accept any incoming transmissions from unrecognized comms.
Garrett Orbital Flight Control. Transcript begins. Permission to dock. Garrett Orbital. Sorry, pilot. All access has been suspended. Why? I haven't done anything. All ships who are part of the Grey Swan military exercise have been ordered to hold position until further notice. Who gave the order? Don't go silent on me. Who gave the order? I haven't done anything. The order came from Commander Coates. Come on, just let me land. I've got work to do. Stay in the air until further notice, pilot. This is Jack I'm talking to, right? We met a few weeks ago at the cadet induction. You paint watercolours in your spare time. Yeah, I recognise that accent. Hi, Jack. You know I'm not a problem. If you let me land, I can help. I'm keen to make myself useful. Stay in the air, pilot. Jack, I need to get back to the others. It's important. If you don't let me land, I'm going to hold you responsible for what happens next. I'm not kidding around. I swear on everything you hold dear that I'm going to find you, Jack. I'm going to find you and rip your stupid throat out. There's a connection we can make here, which players have made. People being driven crazy to kill each other. We have seen this before. Personal. Marquez J. There's something odd about the signal. It seems to bury itself in the comms network, generating its own feedback loop to maintain broadcast. I can turn off my headset and speakers, but the signal's going to be first thing anyone hears when connecting to most channels. Even making a direct call to someone else on this station risks exposure. I don't know what the signal does to people. All I know is there's a direct correlation between hearing it and the recent wave of murders that have taken place. First it was the command deck, then the comms operations. It was played in the canteen, on the station broadcast network. Given the time since McCandy's initial report and the first attacks, I think I have 20 minutes left until I start to lose my mind. Probably less. I've locked the door to my office and changed the passcode. Just mashed keys when resetting, so I don't know the code. No idea if it'll keep me in here. Just trying to prevent myself from doing something I would have regretted. So obviously, as these are not voice read, it's very difficult to read them in time with the actual sound effects in the background. Feel free to check these out for yourself though. It is very spooky, especially if you sit there in the dark with the headphones on. It's pretty freaky. Alright, this one I'll come back to, because there may be a connection with one of the other messages here. We'll come to what that connection may be when we do an analysis of these. Personal, Moses, Daniel. Baxter had me cornered in one of the locker rooms. The showers were on and I was trying to lose him in the steam. Crazy bastard had a shard of glass in his hand. No hilt or anything, just holding the thing in a bloody grip. The look in his eyes was wild, man. I've never seen anything like it. I thought that was it. Then just as Baxter lunged at me, someone shot him. He landed in a heap at my feet. What I saw next is gonna sound silly, but I swear it's the truth. Through the steam, past the spraying water, beyond the blood swirling around the drains, I saw a skull staring right at me. Hooded, armoured, but a skull. It didn't say a word. Then a scream came from outside and the skulled face left. More gunshots. When I was able to stand and get outside, I found 2 more survivors. The skull had saved them too. I don't know who they are, but I hope they make it out alive. So, a mysterious figure, hooded, armoured, and with a skull. Who's apparently saved 3 people. Is this for something else and they're really some weird psycho killer? No. Let's listen to the last log, see if that sheds any more light on this. Personal unknown. Transcript begins. They won't let me off the ship. I'm trapped in here. Can't leave. Can't go elsewhere. Have to do what I'm told. Have to find them. Alright, so we have some kind of signal which gets into absolutely everything and can't be wiped, turned off or stopped in any way. And this signal gets into people's heads and makes them kill. We've seen this before. Lots of players have made a connection between this and the generation ship Thetis, whose crew was affected by a signal and killed each other. It's a very obvious parallel to be drawn there, especially since they say that they passed by some strange planet and 15 light years later was when all the trouble started. And Nefertem, where the generation ship Thetis actually is 15.45 light years away from here. Coincidence? Is this the same signal? Is this a derivative of the signal? Has someone, presumably this armoured person with a skull for a head, or a skull-shaped helmet, maybe they've discovered this technology and they're using it to mess with people, even though they appear to be rescuing some of them. Or maybe they are rescuing some of them from this signal. Who knows? Let's look at some of the takeaways from this. Not too many so far, it's only day one of a week-long event. And it might just be a standalone story, or it may factor into the wider narrative somehow. As usual, we'll just have to follow it and see where it leads. Lots of speculation flying around already, as there always is, as people go full on tinfoil. The similarity between this signal and the signal that killed the crew of the generation ship Thetis is the most obvious link. So could it be that after all this time we've found the source, or someone has found the source of the killer signal? Did someone, perhaps this skull-faced person, did they find the source of the signal and now they're using the technology for some purpose of their own? Technology that has survived all those years. Something had to generate that signal. Perhaps somebody has now found that very thing. Is this skull person some kind of hybrid? Is another one that's out there. Going on with the idea that the captured humans, the Thargoids are keeping captive, are going to get brainwashed and sent against us as an army of zombies. This would be another way to do it. If they could just broadcast in a signal that would make every human turn on each other, and perhaps the captives have been taken to experiment on, and the skull is some kind of Thargoid human hybrid, or sympathizer, or converted human under their control or something. You know, that's one of the theories out there. And time will tell whether this has anything to do with the Thargoids or not, but there is one significant difference between the signal from the generation ship Thetis and the signal here. From Thetis, the message was kill them all. And the message here, well, take a look at this. This is a spectrographic analysis of log 3. Kill them for me. And it's probably what this log here says. Log 8. So, we've got kill them all versus kill them for me. One is impersonal, the other personal. It implies that someone has found a means of using the signal to kill their own enemies, whoever they might be, and for their own gain, whatever that may be. Another thing that makes it different this time is that on the generation ship nobody could resist the urge to kill, and yet from these logs we can see that some people can resist. And this skull character, whoever they are, is killing those who can't resist and saving those who can. Now, this skull person may be testing people, perhaps those that resist the urge to kill have shown they're not just unquestionably following orders and doing atrocious things, but that they have a mind of their own and could therefore be better people if they really, really tried. You know, there's that heavy kind of Saw vibe going on here. And also other influences like the phone booth with Kiefer Sutherland, if you've ever seen that. In Saw, people are horrifically tortured to atone for their crimes, and if they survive, albeit horribly crippled or mutilated, they have a chance to be better people and have a shot at redemption. And in the phone booth, Kiefer Sutherland took it on himself to be the judge and jury of other people's morality and would shoot them if they didn't confess to all the horrible things they've done. Again, you know, heavy on the atonement and redemption theme. It's got that kind of feel to it. Or it could just be some sick experiment to see how easy it is to use this signal to control people. I don't know if there's anything to do with the fact that the people from the generation ship lived centuries ago, and perhaps were a little bit more modern and a little bit more au fait with torture, interrogation, propaganda, mind control, and people are just a little bit more self-aware in 3309, and therefore not quite so easy to hypnotize or take over with this kind of technology. Or it could be that the technology is improved and it can target specific people with specific genetic traits or something, or specific behavior traits. There's all kinds of possibilities here. Go and listen to the logs yourselves without me reading over them, and hear what an excellent job the audio crew have done to make them extremely unnerving. And today the story will possibly continue, and I'll try and post small videos like this as fast as I can to keep you updated on the story as it progresses. And then at some point I also want to do a video on the spire sites, the war, and the effect of the new content on the war, how we can use it to fight back, make progress, and reduce the Thargoid's sphere of influence. I'll get to that in due course. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and watch this space for more from the lore.